Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday evening. Dr. Staci here. We are so excited that you decided to join us for our X39 stem cell activation review and testimonial call. Wow, have I got a lineup for you guys tonight? Marcy is on the freeway, running a little behind, so I'm going to kick us off, get us started, and jump right into these testimonials because I want to give these guys the full amount of time to be able to share what is happening in their lives. And of course, I do want to start, as always, with our disclaimer. So I am obviously not your medical doctor, correct? And this information tonight is just that, is information. We are not here to diagnose or to treat or to cure anything at all. If you have any questions, or of course, before starting anything new, please check with your healthcare provider, your doctor, practitioner. LifeWave is not intended to cure, treat, or diagnose anything. And of course, if you're pregnant or nursing, check with your physician as well too. And with that, I am going to go ahead and kick this off with Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim is a retired chiropractor and has had his hands in many different things holistic. So I'm going to bring Dr. Tim on. I know you guys are excited to hear from him and what he has to share in the very short period of time that he has been introduced to LifeWave and what he's been using. So Dr. Tim, can you tell us briefly just a little bit about yourself, what your background is, and then what you have, experienced using this stem cell activation technology?
Absolutely. My name is Dr. Tim Reichman, and like Dr. Staci said, I'm a retired chiropractor. I started my first practice in 1985 in rural Kansas with my wife, Dr. Grace. We met at Logan University in St. Louis, and we were chiropractors for many, many years. We moved to the greater Charlotte area, and we started working as anatomy and physiology professors for neuromuscular therapy institutes and massage schools. And currently I'm at South Piedmont Community College directing, and I'm the principal instructor of a therapeutic massage program, which I dearly love that work and that job. And my good friend, Gloria Coppola, our good friend, Gloria Coppola, introduced me to LifeWave about three and a half weeks ago. It hasn't even been a month. And she introduced me to X39, and Gracie and I only used 3 different patches. We just purchased them. We were a silver package distributor, and we just started working with them. So I was having right hip pain for over 10 years, at least 10 years, like a mild bursitis. But every time I would sleep on my right side, I would wake up real achy. And recently the pain started waking me up in the middle of the night. So it was very problematic, and I'm a very active guy. I've got to be to keep up with my youngsters, my students. So I put the X39 patch and just one more patch on my right hip. And in 3 days, I kid you not, my hip pain was gone. It's remained gone. And I'm just thanking Gloria. I'm thanking David Schmidt, people like you who are troubadours for this business and this technology. Thanking God, especially for putting all this information into David's head and for him to really discover and keep discovering these patches. So I'm really excited about it. I also used one other patch for a rash that I had on my sternum, on my breastbone. Gracie and I lived at the coast at the beach for about 10 years and helped with another community college and revived their therapeutic massage program. And all the water there was extremely hard in the minerals and even metals. So I had this rash for over 10 years. And it would flare up greatly with every shower and every bath if I took a bathtub. And so I used another one of the patches that she and I talked about just briefly. And it is completely drying up for the first time. It's almost gone. I wish I would have taken before and after pictures. I think I'll still take a picture of where it's at now, because now that's been about 3 weeks. But to me, that was a blessing. That was fast enough. And then the X39 patch, it's helping me sleep because I'm so active and I have so many irons in the fire and I work with so many different types of people every day. I was really only sleeping about 3 to 5 hours doing well on that, but I wanted to do better and I wanted to sleep deeper. So just in the first week or 10 days, I started sleeping 5 hours, then 6 hours, then 7 hours. So now I'm up to 7 hours. And I don't think I've slept that well and that deeply since I was a kid. So I'm just really happy to be here and, tell people my testimony, because for me, it is huge. And they're just three little things, in my private life that have to do with anatomy and physiology and sleep. But it makes me a better educator. It makes me a better husband, makes me a better aunt and uncle to all these family members I have here in the Charlotte area. And so I hope that wasn't too long, but I wanted to tell you everything that's taken place in these few short weeks.
Wow. No, that is not too long. Absolutely not. So I'm absolutely blown away. Those kind of results in 3 weeks is astounding. So I'm so happy for you to achieve that and to feel that already. Definitely. But I have a question for you, Dr. Tim. And my question is, looking at this technology, and of course, I'll go over the science and technology a little bit later, but looking at this patch, this non-transdermal patch, like what was it about you that made you say, yes, I have to put this on my body immediately? As a doctor, what was that?
That's a great question. And I'll defer to Gloria in the fact that I trust her and she's very knowledgeable. And also, Gracie and I are clinically certified aromatherapists, so we teach, different French blending, and we teach our students how to become certified. So I am familiar with the energy of plant medicine. So this wasn't too far from that. I'm very sensitive, sometimes hypersensitive. And I know usually if something works for me, it does work pretty fast unless it's a deeper problem. So I was ready to take her advice and her testimony. She told me a little bit about what she's doing in her life and how successful the patches have been. So it wasn't too difficult. And she just shared with me. She didn't persuade me. And so really, I did take her advice. And because of the alternative healthcare I'm familiar with, and I didn't want to take something like Fosamax for my bone issues that I'm going through right now. So I wanted to do something natural, and I wanted to hear it from a trusted friend who was knowledgeable. And then as soon as I got to know Gloria, she told me about you. So my first call with anyone was with you. So I have a bunch of questions for you that I'll probably ask you on Saturday when we have that call for practitioners, health practitioners. And I'm excited about that call too. So I'll be on that call with you.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Tim. I really appreciate it, because a lot of people want to know, what makes a doctor say yes, and I love that it's the same thing that makes every single one of us say yes. It's that you knew someone and you trusted that person and you valued their opinion and their knowledge and what they said. And you said, yes, I'll try this myself.
Yes.
So, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you being on here tonight. And I look forward to hearing more and more. We will definitely have you back on in 90 days. I want to hear all about what happens to you in that time frame. So
I'll be there. Thanks again, Dr. Staci.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take this over to Bob Campbell now. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because Bob has been using this technology for 26 months. So where Dr. Tim's been about 26 days, Bob's been 26 months. And so, Bob, I'm going to unmute you, ask you to unmute yourself. And I want to hear your grocery list because I think it's rather significant. And I want to hear all the things you've checked off your list over the last 26 months. Because I know, a lot of times, Bob, people are like, oh, well, I'm going to use this for 30 days. That's it. Or I'm going to use this for, 2 months, maybe. I just don't, it's not anything long-term for me. The first question people ask is, how long do I have to use this? So, Bob, I want them to hear from you. Why are you 26 months in still using this technology? Take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Staci. Thank you, Dr. Tim. I'm the antithesis to you. I got the patches, as Dr. Staci said, 26 months ago. Now, in the first 7 to 10 days, I did notice my energy level doubled. but that isn't saying much because I was very tired all the time, very tired. So within 6 to 7 weeks, my sleep patterns changed. I could not sleep. I would sleep an hour, be up for 2, sleep an hour, be up for 1, sleep a half hour, be up for 2. And this has been going on since I was a teenager, and I've literally had to take a nap every day to get through the rest of the day. But somewhere around the 6 to 7 week mark, my sleep started like yours. I was sleeping 6 to 6.5 hours straight through. It was wonderful because now my energy level was really good all the time. So in fact, I now can go after almost 47, 48 years of taking a nap. I don't need a nap anymore, which it's, and I'm 72. So that truly is amazing. And then I've had prostate cancer for about 14 years. And for 12 of those 14 years, I've had to take a little red pill, I think it's called Rapaflow, to be able to urinate. If I don't take that pill, I literally cannot urinate at all. And in 12 years, I only missed 2 mornings. I forgot. And by noon, I couldn't urinate. So very scary. And about 3.5 months in, I noticed my flow got very strong. And I thought, geez, what if I stop taking this? Wonder what'll happen. I was scared, but I thought I'm going to try it. And guys, I have never had to take another pill since. I'm back to where I was when I was in my 30s. This is just unbelievable stuff. And the reason I can't give you definite dates is because I never expected any of this to happen. I honestly didn't. The next thing that happened was my brain fog went away. And I've had brain fog for a few years now where I walk into a room, didn't know why I walked in there, or I just couldn't get my thoughts together. And that is all gone. So I actually can carry on a conversation now. So then about 6 months in, I have had 7 foot surgeries and 5 knee surgeries, guys. I literally have been in pain since 1973. Pain so severe in my feet that when I would sleep, I would have to dangle my feet over the end of the bed. If my feet touched the bed, the pain was too severe for me to be able to fall asleep. And so I've had, in every operation, 7 on my feet. Within a year, all the pain always came back. It was primarily plantar fasciitis, for those who want to know. But my doctors, 2 of them, both said they've never seen feet as bad as mine. So I got that going for me. So anyway, the other aspect with the knees, I had 1 knee replacement and the other knee was scheduled for replacement. And in that about 7th month, all of a sudden, all of the pain, all of the stiffness, all the swelling was gone everywhere in my body. Because at the 6th month, I'm thinking it's just not going to help. And in the 7th month, it took 7 full months, but all of it's gone. It has never come back. And that has been 19 months ago. And now I have not had 1 pain. I'm actually playing basketball again at the age of 72, which I could barely walk up my stairs is 15 years ago. I had to pull myself up and be careful going down the stairs. So I don't know what else. My little sprigs of hair are starting to grow back. But otherwise, it's just been miraculous. Nothing short of miraculous. Oh, I do know one last thing. I forgot. This is very important. About 21 or 22 months in, guys, I was a mailman for 20 years in Florida in the sunshine when you had to actually walk for 5.5 hours to deliver your route. And being a man, I was too stupid or too macho to wear suntan lotion, and I had red hair and fair skin. What that led to was cancer-like scabs all over the backs of my arms, my hands, and my fingers on both arms. And my doctor told me, you've got to have that burned off because it won't be good if you don't. So they burned all the scabs off. Guys, that was the most painful thing I've ever dealt with in my life. And within 1 year, all the scabs grew back. And I had to have it all burned off again. And honestly, they all grew back again. And I didn't want to go through that pain again. And so I didn't have them burned off a third time. And about 21 or 22 months in, I'm not sure where it was, I got out of the shower, was drying off, and I realized all of my scabs were gone. They're all gone except one. I have one left out of hundreds. It's right by my watch, and I think the watch irritates it. So anyway, that truly is miraculous. It took almost 22 months for those to go away. But that just tells me this thing is working continuously. So I'm kind of opposite of Dr. Tim. Everything took me a long time, relatively speaking, but I don't care because I feel so doggone good. So anyway, that's what happened to me.
So Bob, somebody is asking about your tooth infection.
Oh, yes, I forgot about my tooth infection. I had a problem with my tooth, and it was so severe I could barely touch the outside of my mouth. It was, and I forget about it because it just didn't matter to me, and at first, and then it got really, really severe, and I didn't really want to go to the doctor and spend tons of money, so I put a patch directly on my chin where that tooth pain was. Within 3 days, it was completely gone. 3 days. I've had so many things that I just don't even remember them all, but I remember that 3 days, and that was really severe. I mean, I couldn't touch. So, yeah.
You know what I love too? That's a beautiful thing about being in pain or not having the best quality of sleep or even mental, right? Brain fog and things like that. Once those things have improved, the pain is gone. We're sleeping through the night. Thank God that we are allowed to forget how bad things were before. So we're not haunted by the pain or the memories of the pain or the sleepless nights, right? Thank God for that. But Bob, I have a question for you. So 26 months, we know the general rule of thumb using this technology that I'm going to talk to you guys about here in just a minute. We know that general rule of thumb is 1 month for every 10 years you are old. And I know you said, Bob, at six, you were in your 60s when you started this technology. So 6 months would have been.
Actually, I was 70. I was 70.
70. Okay. You were 70. Okay. So you were 70 at that time. So you would say 6 months, 7 months, right? And you said at 6 months, like things had not resolved a whole lot, but by 7 months, it was like. Whew.
Yep. So like somebody flipped the light switch.
Why did you keep going past that 7 months? Like, why are you still 26 months in using the patches?
Well, because I had my, that first 7 to 10 days when my energy level doubled, that was kind of the thing that told me it worked. Mm-hmm. And so, but not counting on it doing all the things it did, I just knew it worked. And I thought, well, I'm not going to stop doing it because if I do, I'm afraid I'm going to lapse back. And because our stem cells get used up on a daily basis. So I wanted to keep my stem cells multiplying on a daily basis. It just made logical sense. Mm-hmm. So if that helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you just decided to keep using this technology because you wanted to keep increasing your stem cell production to keep you young and youthful and feeling amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would ask that everybody take stock of them, of where they are. There is a health tracker that we have, and I would suggest everyone get that and put down every little malady that you have, unlike me who didn't do that, so that you can keep track. Because honestly, guys, as Dr. Staci said, when that stuff goes away, you completely forget about it. I mean, I was in pain since 73. Every day. And now I have no pain. So I forgot about different things, So it's truly amazing.
Wow. Now, Bob, I have one last question for you. So you are the company's latest senior presidential director. You and Amy work together as business partners, which is the top level in our company. So what does this mean for you as a senior presidential director over the last 26 months in this business? How has that impacted you?
Well, Amy said something profound. Within the first 10 days, I got results, she got results to a degree. And Amy said, Bob, if we don't share this with others, it's criminal. And that has been our attitude since that point. Sorry.
No,
We've helped a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people. And we get phone calls with people in tears, just like I am, crying, thanking us for sharing with them. So we'll never stop sharing. Never. It happens all the time. I just took my car to the garage today, and the mechanic, I said to him, boy, I bet you after all these years, I knew he was in his 50s. I said, I bet you after all these years, your hands hurt and probably your wrist and your shoulders. And he goes, all of it. And I said, well, I finally found something to help me, and I think it'll help you as well. And then he had two gigantic dogs that must have weighed 120 to 150 pounds. I've never seen two big dogs like that. And the one dog struggled to get up when I came in. They wanted to greet me. And I said, it'll also help that puppy. And he goes, wow. And I said, yeah, you get a 2-for-1. It'll help you and it'll help your dog as well. So wow. share it with everybody. Amy and I are just, every day we share it with somebody new because we want to help them. We don't want them to struggle. So.
No. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. We so appreciate you and everything you are doing for so many people, thousands and thousands of people out there, and sharing this testimonial I know is very important for everybody to hear, with Dr. Tim and the immediate short term, like what you've experienced. And Dr. Tim, I'm sure you're probably sitting there going, man, I can't wait for 26 months. I can't wait to be in Bob's position where I've helped thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people, but also yet who knows what's coming for you, right? And it's a beautiful thing. So thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. I really appreciate your hearts and your time and pouring into the community here. We have right at 300 people on this Zoom tonight, and that's going to be exponential when this gets shared out a little bit later tonight. Bob?
Staci, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I saw somebody asked, did Bob just use X39? Yes, for everything, it was just X39. I have incorporated other patches now, though, now that I get it. I'm a little slow, guys. Amy's the smart one. I'm kind of the pretty one. So so anyway, that's a joke, guys. But yeah, it's just the way it is. We got to share this every single day.
We do. We do. You're so right. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys tonight. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about the science and technology and how this patch worked for Dr. Tim in just a few weeks and how it worked for Bob in a few weeks, and obviously years as well too. So this is what we're talking about tonight. This is a non-transdermal patch. Looks like a little round band-aid, like a quarter, right? And so non-transdermal means that nothing is transferring into our bodies. You're very familiar with a transdermal patch, nicotine, pain, birth control patches, hormone patches. They're transferring a chemical or a substance. So how does this work if it's non-transdermal, if it's not transferring anything into the body? Well, you guys, know that we're light. We emit a low-level infrared light or body heat, right? We know we emit heat. Right now on the East Coast where I live, it's dark. And so if I were to go outside, I can't see anybody or any animal, bobcat, panther, anything out there right now in the wilderness where I live. But if I had night vision goggles, I would be able to see the neighbor across the road or the wild animal coming out of the woods trying to eat my poodle because of the light or heat being emitted off of the person or the animal, right? And so that is what is communicating with our patch. So when you apply this patch to the skin, our body's light reflects back a signal from the patch. That signal increases our body's stem cell production. Our body's stem cell production is increased when you apply this patch. So you're actually going to apply the patch on the back of your neck, CV7, or below your belly button in the morning when you get up. You're going to leave it on 12 hours during the day. You're going to make sure you stay well hydrated, at least half your body weight in ounces in water every day. But during the day, it is activating, elevating, and mobilizing your stem cells. Your stem cells know what to do to repair, regenerate, and rejuvenate the body, right? You know that when you were a child, you had an abundance of stem cells. That's why 5-year-olds don't have gray hair and 10-year-olds don't have back pain and 12-year-olds don't have heart disease, right? Your body's always working to repair itself. Johnny's riding down the road on his bike. He falls over, breaks his arm. He gets back up and takes off running. Grandma falls out of bed. She's not getting back up, right? Because her body doesn't have the stem cells on board to repair like Johnny does. So we know we make an abundance when we're young, about half when we're in our 30s. And then looking at, Dr. Tim and Bob here, we're talking less than 10% of the stem cells active in the bloodstream. And so when you apply this patch every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you're signaling your body to increase your own stem cell production. And how do we know this? Because the inventor of this technology, David Schmidt, he is the owner of our company, LifeWave. He is the CEO, the founder. He is the scientist, the researcher, the lab rat that spent 10 years in the lab figuring out how to signal the body to increase its own stem cells in a non-invasive way without any side effects or contraindications to what you're currently doing or taking. It is literally a miracle, a modern day miracle. Ancient practices rooted in nature in the lab with light years ahead science and technology is where we're at here with this patch. And so you can apply this every single day, and it activates your body to increase its own stem cells through the pathway of GHKCU. David put a fantastic website in our chat here that you can go and check out and research Dr. Lauren Picard's 50 years of clinical studies on the benefits of increasing GHK, but it also increases your stem cell production, up-regulating over a third of your genes to their perfect divine expression. How is Bob getting the results he is with his skin 26 months, 22 months later? Because his body is resetting on a daily basis, right? Reversing back to that young, youthful state. And we see this through all of our clinical studies. You can go to startx39.com and you can see all the research, all the data, all the science, all the facts. It's there for you. We have a 20-year patent on this patch. So know that when you're using this, you're using something that is backed by science and research and data done with people in independent labs and researchers across the globe, not in a petri dish with the thought, maybe it's going to happen, right? We have scientific proof to show this is really working. And remember, I said we're not curing or treating diseases. We're looking at the systems in the body. We're looking at the organs and the cells and the tissues and helping them to repair, regenerate, and literally reverse the functionality. And so you can get this technology as well, too. You can use this patch every single day. And so can everyone else that you know, right? And how do I do that? You're going to get back with the person that invited you. We have a couple options. Option number one, of course, you can purchase retail. You can get a month's supply of our stem cell activation patch. 1 month is only $149.95 for a month's supply. That's $5 a day. That's really less than a cold brew at nitro cold brew at Starbucks, right? But you can also purchase at wholesale. We have 2 wholesale options. Option 1 is you can pay a one-time $19.95 fee, be a preferred customer. We can get you set up on a 6-month auto ship of your X39 stem cell activation patch for only $99 a month. But if you're like myself, and of course, Dr. Tim and Bob, who did not too much allude to the other stuff, if you're like us, we like wholesale pricing and we like our wholesale silver pack. And that silver pack allows us for no sign-up fee to be able to get 3 months of our X39 stem cell activation patch. Those are all shipped to us at one time for $2.99. And of course, then you can get set up on your auto ship for the following month, your monthly subscription. But the beautiful thing about our silver pack is you have the ability to mix and match as well too. So if there's some other patches that you're interested in, they do different things. Of course, like I said, David is our inventor, our scientist, our researcher. He's been inventing patches for 20 years. And so we have a dozen different patches. So take a look, get back with a person that invited you. They can help you get set up with whatever option works best for you. But keep in mind that we will be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern with Laura and Wendy, and you will hear from 2 different people and their personal testimonials using this technology. And then of course, we will see you on Saturday at 1 Eastern for our typical Sunday or Saturday call. And then we'll see you back next week. We do Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, every single week. And here we are 3 years later with Marcy and Peter running our show as they always have, right? Leading the pack and helping hundreds and thousands, over almost 30,000 people that you guys have helped in your organization over the last 3 years. That's 30,000 lives that are improved. The quality of our lives are improved. And that's what this is about. That's our mission. That's our focus, is to help people have a better quality of life, the life that we have here, enjoy our families and our times that we have here, and feel good while we're doing it. So thank you all for being here tonight. We appreciate every single one of you, and we will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bring all your friends and family.